Good. Smithville Board of Aldermen meeting is now called to order. Please stand and join me in the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Jock, you can stay standing. Tony. Well, you both are. Is it both of you this year?
Well, I'm gonna let Tony take this. Tony Center is our street division leader. He's been out with the sidewalk stuff today, but taken a lot of grief over the last few weeks.
Yeah.
Tony's done a really good job, and we're proud of all the work they do. Tony is gonna represent us tonight, Public Works, for Public Works Week. Obviously we got other utility staff that couldn't make it this evening, and other street crews, but I'll let Tony. That's the proclamation.
So May 19th through 25th is National Public Works Week.
Take speech.
These guys take care of a lot of stuff for us, so appreciate it.
Yeah.
Next item on the agenda is the consent agenda. Alderman Atkins.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve the consent agenda.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Mayor, I'll second.
Any discussion? All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries. Linda, you're up. We have both of our prosecutors on vacation, right, or something?
She's not on
Oh.
vacation yet. She hopes to be soon to approve this.
So we need to back up. Appreciate you.
I, Gina Simone, do solemnly affirm that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Missouri, laws of the fourth class cities, and the ordinances of the city of Smithville. And I will faithfully demean myself in the office of alternate city prosecutor for which I was appointed. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was easier than I thought. If anyone has any concerns about the way the cases are being prosecuted in the city, I would be glad to provide. Obviously, they all have my email information, telephone number. Please feel free to call me about any issue that's forthcoming. I was talking to the chief right before we got started here with a few issues that Angela said were coming,
Yeah.
The dog barking cases she pointed out. So anything you need, just let me know.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you. City Administrator's report, Ms. Wagner.
I'd like to highlight a few items in the report. You'll note that, and you'll recall in the fiscal 24 budget, you approved funds for Citizens Academy, and Gina has been working with staff throughout the organization to develop a curricula for that. We'll do the academy on successive Monday nights during the fall. Applications for the academy are now available online, and the link is in the city administrator's report. It's also on the website. We are limiting the class size so that we can maximize that opportunity for folks. So we'll get those applications, and then there will be a review process, and we'll begin that this fall. So we're excited to start that process. Several highlights in here with regard to updates on public works projects. And as you'll note in this, and if you've seen on social media, several projects, we are now definitely in orange cone season, and we'll have detours. Pretty much you can't get anywhere from there. So just bear with those projects as we make improvements through the community. I also want to highlight on the last page of City Administrator's report, there is a link to the volunteer page for Smithville Lake Festival. And they have reminded us to remind governing body members and staff of that opportunity for assistance on Friday and Saturday for Smithville Lake Festival.
Yeah, Shauna called me today. If you're even considering it, please get her shirt sizes ASAP. So, thank you. Next item on the agenda is number 6, Alderman Atkins. First read, it's first and second, so first reading.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve Bill number 3033-24, amendment to section 600.030, Section D, liquor by the drink license, emergency ordinance sponsored by Mayor Boley for the first reading.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Mayor, I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Mayor, I have a question.
Yes.
So, thank you. I reviewed the current, licenses, if you'd say so, the current, members in the community that have, this authority with Cynthia earlier today. The only question I have is, about that is this, since it's emergency ordinance, I didn't see why it's an emergency ordinance with what's coming on. Is there a reason why it needs to be emergency?
Chief, it's all yours.
Oh, thank you. Uh-oh, big guns now.
Actually, at the time this was written, we knew of a couple businesses that were looking to come in town. One of them was approved on the consent agenda, which now has met our capacity for liquor by the drink licenses at 11. And actually, I received a voicemail today from a gentleman wanting information on a license who's interested in bringing a business to town. And I've not returned his call because I wanted to wait till tonight was finished before I called him back tomorrow to see how things went so I could give him proper guidance on how things go.
And additionally, we have 2 additional businesses that are looking to submit that can't either in town, right?
Well, one of those was on the
One-
consent tonight.
Yeah, grassroots.
Yeah,
Yeah,
which-
but
which-
Gizmos and one other.
Yeah, and then Gizmos, and then whoever the gentleman is that left me a voicemail tonight or earlier today.
Yeah, he called me today too.
So that may
Carney.
be in addition to the others that are in the downtown area.
Yeah.
So,
So they need to get approval, right, before they, I mean, I guess that's the first step is to get
But we
approval.
can't even take the application.
Yeah.
There's none left.
Right, but I mean, that's what they have to get one first, right?
To be
Right.
able to open, that's
Right.
correct, but they
They need
can't
to-
apply for one if
There's
the
none
approval
available.
of the grassroots,
Okay.
there are none available after
Okay.
that. So that's why we want to ensure that we have that, particularly before we go into summertime with a lake community.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Any other questions? Clerk, please call roll.
Alderman Hartman,
aye.
Alderman Kibelski,
Aye.
Alderman Atkins,
Aye.
Alderman Wilson,
Aye.
Alderman Shipley,
Aye.
Alderman Russell.
Aye.
6-0.
Motion carries. Ms. Wagner, please read the bill.
An ordinance repealing section 600.030D, number of licenses limited, and enacting a new section 600.030D, number of licenses limited.
Thank you. Same agenda item, second reading, Alderman Atkins.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve Bill number 3033-24, amendment to section 600.030D, liquor by the drink license, emergency ordinance sponsored by Mayor Boley for the second reading.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Mayor, I'll second.
Thank you. Any questions or discussion? Clerk, please call roll.
Alderman Atkins,
Aye.
Alderman Wilson,
Aye.
Alderman Kibelski,
Aye.
Alderman Russell,
Aye.
Alderman Hartman,
Aye.
Alderman Shipley.
Aye.
6-0.
Motion carries. Ms. Wagner, please read the bill.
An ordinance repealing section 600.030D, number of licenses limited, and enacting a new section 600.030D, number of licenses limited.
Next item on the agenda is number 7. Alderman Atkins.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve Resolution 1358, sponsorship request, Grace Community Church.
Thank you. Do you have a second?
Mayor, I'll second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All those in favor of approving resolution 1358, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. Motion carries. Next item is number 8. Alderman Atkins.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve Resolution 1359, award bid number 24-11, sale of city property on the north side of Church Street.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
Mayor, I'll second.
Thank you.
Mayor, we do have a presentation by our legal counsel.
Hello, everyone. I am Megan Miller. I am with law firm of Gilmore and Bell, and we serve as the city's Economic Development Council. So we're going to do a quick run through of the responses to the RFPs. The first one, RFP number 24-11, north side of Church Street. We had one response, and that was 110 Smithville LLC. Their response included that they will construct 42 parking spaces that will remain available for public parking between the business hours of 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. They intend to put in 39 standard spaces and 3 ADA spaces. The intention of this applicant was to build a multi-level mixed-use development with parking included. The applicant will keep 42 spaces available for public parking. But if the property is ever redeveloped in a way that creates more than 42 spaces, which again would be subject to city approval, any additional spaces would be public or private, and that I know sounds ridiculous, but meaning they would potentially be private spaces above those 42. Project completion is anticipated to be August 1st, 2026, and then they would intend to use that property for construction activities during the construction of the TIF project. Within the RFP on our minimum parking requirements, we did have a subsection that would allow for EV ready and EV capable parking. The applicant acknowledged to those minimum parking requirements, but with respect to those particular sections, said that they would agree to comply with them provided that there is an appropriate power source to the lot and that the city would collaborate on completing this requirement. The applicant intends to explore options, including collaboration with a third-party charging vendor, but does not promise that those EV charging stations will be free or that the city would be able to control the price of charging. The purchase price on this was a $16,726. It was a cash offer for the property, and then $294,000 of the estimated value of improvements. So the total value of the bid was $310,726. On the estimated value of improvements, we did talk with Chuck and had him confirm that that would be the approximate value for a private developer to build those improvements. Obviously, that is price as of today. In the future, that obviously could be more expensive given the inflation in the market right now. All right, do you want me to go on with this one or?
No.
All right, we'll wait.
Any questions on this one? You can stay up. All those in favor of approving resolution 1359, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no.
No.
Motion carries. Next item, number 9. Alderman Atkins.
Thank you, Mayor. I move to approve Resolution 1360, awarding bid number 24-12, sale of city property on the south side of Church Street.
Thank you. Do I have a second? Go ahead.
A second.
Thank you.
Mayor, I'd like to recuse myself from the discussion. Although I've not been involved in this project from the beginning, my brokerage firm, Show Me Real Estate, has, so I'm going to step out.
Thank you. We might let you back in. All yours again.
All right, so this is RFP number 24-12, the south side of Church Street. There were 2 responses to this. The first was from Herzog Foundation. Their response stated that they were prepared to adhere to any stipulations of the city in accordance with the existing TIF plan. Just for clarification, no matter who this lot or the other lot would be sold to, they are still a part of the TIF plan and would still be subject to the TIF. Just because they would be sold to somebody that wasn't the developer of record does not mean that then they are not in the TIF. These lots are included within the TIF plan, no matter what. They intend to implement a payment system for patrons to pay by hour or day. They intend to implement safety measures, and their purchase price was $188,000. The second response was from 110 Smithville LLC. They had an alternative proposal. They want to use the property as private parking. In exchange for removing the reversion language that was in the RFP, and that was intended to be a part of the deed and the real estate contract, the applicant intends to pave and restripe the undeveloped west half of the city property at the corner of Mill and Meadow. So the west half of the parcel, excluding the existing parking lot, to create approximately 39 new public parking spaces. The city would own and maintain these donated improvements, and that projected date to complete is August 1st, 2026. They will also create up to 23 new parking spaces on the east side of Mill and the south side of Church. And the projected date to complete this is August 1st, 2026. So the total number of spaces would be determined in plan review, obviously, but this is just an approximation. There is a potential to add up to 30 new public parking spaces downtown. The construction on the project site would be to begin later this year. The projected date to complete parking improvements on the property is May 31st, 2025. So the applicant intends to comply with the minimum parking lot requirements to the extent that they apply to private parking lots. And then similar to the last RFP response, they responded the same for the EV ready and EV capable parking, which obviously I'm not going to rehash that, but that they would work with the city and, the city would not have control over a price or if there are charging stations available. So the purchase price for this was $15,054. That's the cash offer. The donated improvements for the lot on Mill and Meadow, $294,000. The estimated value of the new street parking, $195,000. The total value of the bid was $504,054. Again, we spoke with Chuck and had him confirm the value of the donated improvements in the new street parking. Again, good approximation for a private developer. And that is it. Does anybody have any questions?
Any questions for Megan?
I do.
Yep.
Hey, Megan, just a
Mhm.
question for you on the 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. piece of it. So if there's an event or something in the town, I mean, is there leeway there? Have they let you or say anything about leeway? It's just no parking here at all, or?
That would be something we'd have to work out
Okay.
within the real estate contract if this bid was to be awarded to them. So far, obviously, as the RFP response, it would just remain public from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and I'm not really aware of any events that really go past 6 p.m., but there probably are a couple. Also, just so the board has clarity, since we all have this, there are 2 documents that Cynthia placed at our desk, one from Agent Joe and then one from Herzog Foundation. So just make sure those are related to this. Any questions for the rest of the board?
I don't have any questions. Well, maybe I do have questions. I've done a lot of thinking on this, probably over the last 24 hours, 36 hours. And on further reflection, I don't feel like the 2 proposals were apples to apples. So in reading the one letter we have, I think it would behoove us as a board to go back to the drawing board and request new RFPs.
Is that a motion?
I don't know if I have to make a motion here or if it would just be saying no to the item, whether I ask to table it, postpone it. I don't know the proper thing to do. Other than I don't feel like in good conscience we can really move forward because we didn't really compare apples to apples. That's all I'll say.
I think procedurally it'd be, I mean, if the RFP failed, that's what would happen, but it'd be I mean, if that's what you're saying is a no vote, that's probably where you'd be. You can't really amend a
I know we can't amend it.
contract.
No, I know we
Yeah.
can't amend a
Yeah,
contract.
and
That's what
even
I'm saying.
tabling it's still the same bid and resolution, so.
I don't know if I can ask this question, but Megan, did both of them meet the RFP request?
Yeah, I mean, their responses were,
Okay. Because the letter stating that it wasn't, so I'm just curious to see what the differences could be or what they're feeling that the 110 Smithville LLC didn't meet.
yeah, I mean, the letter didn't state
Okay.
what they felt like they didn't meet, non-responsive, other than, what was detailed in the letter.
I guess another question could be in Herzog's proposal, they would be fees for parking. How does that really fit into the TIF plan? How would that work?
Yes, we would have to have some conversations about how the TIF plan would be implemented because on that parcel is a portion of the building that's a part of the overall TIF project. So a portion of the building is on that property as well as the parking. So yes, the paid parking, we would just, they stated in their response that they would adhere to the stipulations as required in the TIF plan.
And there's been discussions at EDC meetings for years now on the availability of free parking in our downtown. The paid parking aspect is never been something that we've set as policy of having paid parking, or I think it would be an economic detractor for having paid parking in downtown, but you know, it is what it is.
Well, I know that the formal protest is non-responsive and non-conforming, talks about the highest bid and also a foregone conclusion. I think everybody knows I'm against the TIP plan anyway. It's not what I would recommend, but I agree with Alderman Wilson that and looking at the bids, I mean, they are really different in what they are, and they're all the same RP requirements. It's really bid. I can see how on one side you say, wait a minute, you know, we could have done that too. You know what I mean? I don't know if it's apples to apples like Alderman Wilson said. I tend to agree.
And where I'm saying it's not apples to apples is the fact that the one includes putting a parking lot in here, and that really wasn't part of the RFP. It was specifically this south lot, south of Church Street. So that's where I'm saying it wasn't apples to apples.
Any other questions? Linda, can we do a voice vote even though it should be, can you just do a roll call? Thanks.
Alderman Shipley,
Aye.
Alderman Kibelski,
Aye.
Alderman Atkins,
Aye.
Alderman Wilson,
No.
Alderman Russell,
No,
3-2.
Motion carries. Any public comment? Any new business? With that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
a second, Mayor.
Thank you. All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Stand adjourned.